Last week, PSA announced price hikes on all of their tiers and the hobby went crazy. I mean, everybody, every influencer has a video about this and the comments are nuts. Here's the problem. I don't understand why people are upset. I just don't get it. And if you want to know why I think I'm a little confused, stay with me. Hello, my name is Doc, and if you're new here, this is the channel Makes Sense of Sports, Sports Cards, and Life, and this is the community where we talk about the issues in the hobby in a much different way than everybody else on YouTube. So if you like new perspectives, then you're in the right place. And then a court has to decide, is this practice legal or not, since I don't think that any other business does this in the United States. If you guys know of another business that does upcharging, like holds people's products ransom. So anyway, let's get into this story. PSA announced that they're raising prices on all their tier levels. And if you didn't see the video on Boston Card Hunter, I did put a Substack out. So go subscribe to the Substack, read that article. Absolutely, it was great. I broke down all the arguments from Boston Card Hunter. And here is the problem that I have. I don't understand why anyone's upset. Like, I get, like, okay, you don't like prices going up, but I mean, the arguments that people are making make zero sense. Like, Boston Card Hunter literally said that PSA are like communists. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Do you even understand what communism is? PSA is a company. Their job is to make money. They make money putting cards in slabs. The demand for PSA slabs is through the roof. And they're trying to slow down the demand by raising prices. Hopefully that will slow the demand down. But here's the issue. The demand isn't going to slow down. PSA could raise their prices as much as they want. All of you are still going to pay it. So Boston Card Hunter being upset makes no sense other than I get it. You don't want to pay more for grading. But you have no leverage. Zero. And his ridiculous, unfortunately, kindergarten understanding of economics makes no sense either, which again, I broke it down in the Substack, like why none of his arguments make any sense whatsoever. So here's my take on this. PSA is going to raise prices because no one is going to stop grading with PSA, and why not raise prices and make more money off you guys? I mean, if the demand is there and you're not price sensitive, raise prices. Now's the time to raise them so that when you're in the future, you don't have to do a rate hike. Might as well make as much money right now. I mean, they're getting 1 million cards a month. So raising their prices by $5 a slab means they make $5 million a month. And in some cases, the tiers are even more than that. I mean, it's crazy the amount of money they're just going to generate by doing nothing but raise prices. And again, calling that communism is just so dumb. It's dumb. And I know that Boston Card Hunter is not an idiot. I know that. I know that he's not an idiot. But what I propose in the Substack is maybe he doesn't have any real world business experience, like running an actual business. Because what Nat Turner and PSA are doing is business 101. You have the most demand. You've taken out all your competition. At this point, PSA owns 92% of the market share. They're a virtual monopoly. Therefore, there's no competition. There's no one that's coming after them. You might as well jack up the prices because why not? Now, this does provide a potential opportunity to the small graders because now you have a price differentiation. If you want to get cheap slabs, go to the other graders. Otherwise, you're going to go to the number one grader, PSA, and that's what you have to pay. It makes perfect sense now that there's no competition. This is what happens in capitalism when you guys, as the collectors, don't stand up for your rights when you had the chance. You didn't want to go to SGC. You didn't want to go to Beckett. You guys shunned them. You all were going to PSA. And so you put money in PSA's coffers, again, their pockets, and they said, we got all this extra cash. Let's go buy out our competitors. That's it. It's over. That's got nothing to do with PSA. That's got everything to do with you. You made the decision, the collector, the flipper, the investor, everybody in the hobby made the decision. PSA is the only grader we care about. Therefore, that's it. We don't care about the other ones. Now, I personally like SGC better than PSA. It's just my personal preference. Unfortunately, that means I'm screwed because SGC is now going to be a very niche grader. And their turnaround times, which used to be awesome. I mean, I could send a card in and get it back by the end of the month. I mean, that's crazy. I have cards into PSA right now because I do autograph authentication because I had cards signed by the athletes, and SGC doesn't do that. I don't like Beckett. I've never liked Beckett. For grading, at least, I always like the Beckett guide. So I send it into PSA, and the problem is that I still haven't got my cards back. So I sent them in. So what is it, like mid-February now? So I sent them in, what was it, January, December. I sent them in December. Like, that's nuts. Actually, no, it was November. I now remember, I did it at the Arizona State Card Show. That was in November. That's when I sent the cards in. So it's November, December, January, February. That's 4 months. I'm still not getting them back. I might get them back in March. Probably not. I'd probably get them back in April. That's 6 months for just authenticating real autographs. I know they're real because I got them signed. So PSA knows they're real. They're going to come back authentic. I know that, but it took 6 months. And I only sent in like 10 cards. It's not a big order. And here, that's the problem. The backlog is so big, and they can charge whatever they want. Now, I got lucky because I sent it in before. I only paid the lower prices. And I think that's really what Boston Card Hunter is really exposing, is I think he has a stack of cards that he wanted to send into PSA, and now it's going to cost him that much more to send them in. And he was probably kicking himself going, damn it, I should have sent them in 2 weeks ago. Why did I wait? And I think that's what PSA is now doing, is saying, you should send your cards in now before they jack up the prices again, which is sort of the reverse psychology that they're looking for. They want to actually control demand a little more, and I think the price hike is actually going to spike demand because you're going to want to send them in now before they jack up prices in 6 months again, because that's what's going to happen, folks. And PSA is going to jack up the prices once again because they have no competition. What are you going to do? If you want to grade your cards, you have to go to PSA at this point. You're done. You're toast. You've lost the game. PSA has won, and you have lost. Now, I make a recommendation in the Substack. I'm going to give it to you here. I honestly think that you should start considering not grading your cards. Again, the high-end cards should all get graded. I totally agree. I'm not against grading. I'm not against PSA. I don't like their business practices, but they're allowed to do what they're allowed to do. I do think the upcharging is illegal, allegedly. I think upcharging is illegal, but nobody has sued them, so we don't have a court case to decide whether or not it's illegal or not. I personally believe it's illegal, allegedly, because I don't think you have the right to charge someone else a ransom note, because allegedly that's basically what they're doing. If you don't pay them, they won't send you your cards back, which is, I believe, illegal. Again, allegedly. But you have to have a court case. Somebody has to sue them, and then a court has to decide, is this practice legal or not? since I don't think that any other business does this in the United States. If you guys know of another business that does upcharging, like holds people's products ransom until they pay them an extra fee, please let me know in the comments. I would love to know if there's another company in the United States that does the same thing. I don't think there is, because I think it's illegal, allegedly. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining me. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. Remember, YouTube has a brand new algorithm, so if you don't hit subscribe, you probably won't see any of the other videos. Other than that, my name is Doc, and I'll see you